Tesla crushed it in Q3 with the best quarter in company history. Details of the report and more in your Tesla Tidbits for October 27th, 2016. So I've got this broken out into finances, autopilot, Model 3, and some miscellany. We'll start with the finances. Today was the Q3 2016 earnings release, and far and away the most important thing gleaned from the conference call and the report is that Tesla achieved GAAP profitability for the first time. Tesla had a net income of $22 million, or 14 cents per share in Q3, the first GAAP profitability in the company's history. GAAP revenue was $2.3 billion, up 145% year over year. Gross margin increased quarter over quarter to 27.7%, up from 21.6% in the previous quarter. Elon again lamented the ZEV credit system lacking teeth and how that hurts Tesla. He touched on competitors only selling in ZEV states in order to better take advantage of those credits at the expense of supply in non-ZEV states. Musk also expects SolarCity to be a cash contributor in quarter 4, as well as also saying that he believes that Model 3 will not require a capital raise in Q4 and possibly not even in 2017 Q1. Though he then qualified this by saying that it doesn't mean they shouldn't do that to make them more flexible and, quote, de-risking the business, end quote. Lastly, detractors talking about Tesla cash burn should take note that last quarter Tesla finished with $3.2 billion in cash and cash equivalents. Ending this quarter, the figure was barely lower, sitting at $3.1 billion, even after paying off $600 million in debt. On to autopilot. Elon does qualify that the switch in the new version of autopilot to use radar as a primary is that it's important to remember it is just that, a primary. It isn't either radar or vision, it's both. Tesla is happy to share autopilot data with its competitors to improve safety, this in reference to the new guidelines released on autonomy. Tesla collects 1.5 million miles of autopilot data each day. In regard to having enough data to determine if autonomy is a benefit compared to human drivers, Elon wouldn't confirm when he believed a case could be made to regulators, but he did say that he was, quote, quite optimistic about where things are, end quote. And lastly, the Tesla network is intended to mostly benefit the owner of the car. It's not, quote, it's not Tesla versus Uber, it's the people versus Uber, end quote. On to Model 3 comments. Model 3 supplier commitment is strong. Elon did also again refuse to comment on how many current Model 3 reservations there exactly are, so we're still left with the 373,000 vehicle number that we've been hearing for a while. Also again reiterated that the first year of production on Model 3 is sold out. There is an interesting change in language as well, from Tesla expecting volume production in the second half of 2017 to volume deliveries. Elon expects Model 3 production to do well on the outset, but isn't delusional and expects issues that will need to be dealt with. Despite having a stern hand on CapEx, Elon mentioned that this change will not affect the Model 3 timeline. In addition, it seems that Model 3 CapEx isn't going to cost as much as it was originally expected either. We should see more of a ramp-up in Quarter 1 and Quarter 2 in 2017. Lastly, the miscellany that I had for you. Elon made a reference to the company's 3 priorities being Model 3, maintaining manufacturing rate and schedule, autopilot, and the ramp-up of the 100 kilowatt-hour production. Elon mentioned that he was heading to the 100 kilowatt-hour production line following the call, and that he receives updates 7 days a week on that production. Lastly, Jason Wheeler touched on the reliability getting better after the Consumer Reports articles that were reported earlier this week, and Elon echoed this. Model X service visits have decreased 92% in the quarter. Check out the source of today's story at ir.tesla.com. That's where you'll find the investor release newsletter and the conference call that I pulled much of the information for this show off of. If you get some value out of the show, please consider supporting me at patreon.com/Tesla Tidbits. Thanks as usual to my super patron, John Waltower, for his support. You can support the show for free through positive reviews on major media services where you find the show, and by simply spreading the word of the show to other Tesla lovers. Be sure to contribute to my Extra Life campaign if you have some spare scratch to help sick kids. All proceeds will benefit Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital in Cleveland, Ohio. You can find my fundraising page at bit.ly/TT-EL2016, as well as in the show description. If you have feedback for the show, the best way to be heard is to tweet at Tesla Tidbits. That's it for today. See you guys back here again tomorrow tomorrow with the cleanup from what was missed today because of the conference call. Until then, keep it charged and hit the road.